Stewart, let's be real. We didn't even want you on the team. Hold on. Let's stop playing games, man. KTV, it's top of the morning. Brianna Turner. We didn't even want you on the team. We didn't want nobody from the Connecticut Sun, okay? You came through, you did a solid job off the bench, yada, yada, yada.
Wait, did he seriously just claim they never wanted Brianna Turner on the squad? That's not commentary. That's a direct hit, and what's insane is he's acting like he speaks for every fan, while throwing shade at a player who literally carried them through the playoffs. But here's the kicker. This isn't really about Brianna Turner at all. This is a storm. A wildfire of tension, ripping through the WNBA's most passionate fan base right now.
Fever star makes her unrivaled stands known despite concerning trend. First of all, she's not a Fever star. Stop it. She was getting DNPs. She wasn't even playing. Like, stop playing games now. When people got hurt, she stepped in and she played hard. I respect that, but don't. She's not a star. Y'all can relax.
There it is, the truth. No one wants to face Unrivaled just dropped their viewership stats, and they should send chills through. Everyone connected, we're talking about a league that kicked off with 300,000 viewers in its first year, only to crater to 75,000 for Season 2's opener by January 9th. The numbers had plummeted even further, and when True TV aired exclusive games, just 32,000 tuned in. This isn't a slip, it's a full-blown collapse, and now the players are bracing, defensive, and on edge.
Promising inaugural season, built on a stronger player-first mindset and a quick pace 3v3 format. The tournament is facing empty seats after increasing its arena capacity to 1,000. Amid all the questions about whether the off-season league is sustainable, Indiana Fever star, she's not an Indiana Fever star, man. Stop it. Brianna Turner has shared her 2 cents, keeping it simple. I truly enjoy watching women's basketball. I don't care if it's college,
Here's why this matters. The WNBA regular season drew nearly 1 million viewers across all networks, yet Unrivaled weekend games barely scraped 71,000. That's a staggering 93% collapse in audience attention, and Brianna Stewart, the co-founder, is pointing fingers at broadcast slots and scheduling. But the numbers tell a different story. TNT handed them prime. Airtime arenas expanded to 1,000 seats opening weekend in Philadelphia. Sold out. The framework is perfect. The fans, they just aren't showing up.
Lower numbers, averaging 32,000 viewers. That is awful. That's awful. 71,000 across the weekend is far less than the 2025 WNBA regular season playoff average of nearly 1 million across all networks. Man, the WNBA owners know they got so much leverage over y'all. They ain't even stunting y'all right now. The development of other leagues such as Project B is also a threat to Unrivaled in the coming years. Names like Kelsey Mitchell and Alyssa Thomas, players integral to the 3v3.
And this is where things get uncomfortable for everyone, because the stats are telling a story the league doesn't want to admit out loud when Caitlin Clark is on the court. Women's basketball shatters records when she's absent. The truth emerges. Iowa's games with Clark averaged 19 million viewers. The WNBA Finals without her drew 14 million for Game 5. Unrivaled without her, just 32,000 on certain broadcasts. This isn't growth. This is one player inflating the rest.
Fully dependent on viewership ratings. It also relies on merchandise sales. Every opening weekend game was sold out, and the Philadelphia tour stopped Xfinity Mobile Arena this month, both of which are quite profitable. Per the league spokesperson, reports suggest that merchandise sales have increased by 50%, and resale tickets for the Philadelphia stop have increased to $123. Therefore, Unrivaled CEO Alex Bizzell and co don't seem overly concerned about the league's sustainability, but frequent player
The real drama is happening behind the scenes. Kelsey Mitchell and Alyssa Thomas, key figures from Unrivaled's inaugural season, have already jumped ship to Project B. Their schedules collide, forcing players to pick sides, and they're not picking Unrivaled. Then Athletes Unlimited kicks off on February 4th with stars like Ariel Atkins. And suddenly, there are 3 rival off-season leagues, splitting an already tiny audience. The WNBA owners are watching it unfold, and make no mistake, they hold all the cards now.
People are not interested in watching this 3-on-3 thing. You know what I mean? It says, however, Bizzell is positive despite the decline in viewership. He is willing to bet on the growth in women's basketball, expressing his confidence in the idea. And while it's true that Unrivaled has shaken up women's landscape, to keep it sustainable, they will have to tackle more than just ratings. Everybody's talking about the growth of women's basketball, but women's basketball is not shown to do the numbers that don't involve Caitlin Clark. Do I think the game has grown for women? Absolutely.
Here's the part everyone keeps missing. Unrivaled CEO Alex Bazel keeps claiming he's betting on the growth of women's basketball. But what growth? Merchandise sales are up 50% sure. Resale tickets in Philadelphia hit $13, those are real dollars. But you can't build a lasting league on t-shirts when your broadcast numbers are in free fall. TNT didn't pay for rights to sell merch. They paid for viewers, and the viewers aren't showing up. The 3-on-3 format isn't clicking. No amount of marketing or prime airtime can change that. Fans who tune in for 5-on-5 WNBA basketball aren't automatically going to adopt a completely different game just because the same players are involved. It's a new product, and the market is saying nope.
Like, everybody's saying, oh, it's grown, it's grown, it's grown. Yeah, it looked like it's grown when Caitlin Clark's around. Everything looked bigger when CC involved. So at the end of the day, these are y'all real numbers. Y'all getting 31,000. These are y'all real numbers. The Caitlin Clark inflation is not there for y'all right now. It's not there for y'all right now. She's not a part of it to make the numbers for everybody else look crazier than what they really are. Now you seeing the real y'all. So get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Just keep the vision.
So, here's what this means for the future. CBA negotiations are looming. WNBA players once used Unrivaled as leverage, claiming they could cash in overseas or in alternative leagues if the W didn't meet their demands. But now, Unrivaled is barely drawing 32,000 viewers on some broadcasts. Project B's Untested Athletes Unlimited has existed, but it's never threatened the WNBA's dominance. The owners can now look at these numbers and ask, where exactly are you going to go? That changes everything. Leverage comes from options, and right now, these alternative leagues aren't proving they're viable. Unrivaled is bleeding viewers in year 2. Players are already jumping ship. This fragmentation is weakening everyone, not strengthening the sport. Then you have creators calling out players for pushing agendas instead of sticking to basketball. Whether you agree with their politics or not, they represent a segment of Caitlin Clark's fan base that showed up for hoops, not messaging. That's real tension. Brianna Turner ran a commercial about trans athletes in women's sports. She has every right to speak her truth, but as a role player on a volatile team, every move is magnified. Indiana Fever averaged 23 million viewers for playoff games. That's Caitlin Clark's audience now. Part of that audience is saying they don't want players mixing social issues into the game. That's not a minor issue. It's a fundamental split about the WNBA's identity, pure basketball or a platform. For advocacy, here's the reality check. Brianna Turner averaged 31 points and 34 rebounds per game last season. She's a backup center who delivered. When called upon, she's not a star, she's not moving the needle. And when role players dominate headlines for off-court stances rather than on-court performance, friction erupts. Fair or not, that's the dynamic. Meanwhile, Unrivaled continues to falter, and the stakes for the league and its players have never been higher. Unrivaled is fighting to survive. They're not entirely dependent on TV ratings. Sure, merchandise and ticket sales matter, but long-term, broadcast revenue is the lifeblood. Sponsors need audience numbers that justify their investment, and right now, those numbers are sliding in the wrong direction. Brianna Stewart can say she loves watching women's basketball in any format. That's nice, but enjoyment doesn't equal sustainability. The market has spoken. The 3-on-3 format isn't landing. Fans who showed up for WNBA games aren't migrating to Unrivaled. Blaming time slots or scheduling misses the point entirely. The Caitlin Clark effect is real when she plays. Viewers tune in when she doesn't. You see the true baseline interest in women's basketball, and it's far below last season's inflated numbers. That's not shade, that's data. Iowa women's basketball went from under 500,000 viewers pre-Clark to nearly 2 million. With her, the WNBA went from around 400,000 to almost 1 million for Indiana games. These are not coincidences. So, what's next? Unrivaled can adapt or fold. They could shorten the season, scale back broadcast commitments, target hardcore fans as a niche, or keep chasing mainstream acceptance. And watch the numbers. Creator Project B could lure more players. Athletes Unlimited could establish itself as the safer alternative. WNBA owners could turn all of this into leverage in CBA talks. Players like Brianna Turner will have to define their brand. Are you a basketball player with political views or an activist who happens to play basketball? Both are valid, but the consequences differ when you're on Caitlin Clark's team and her fan base is this intense. Everything is amplified. The creator in these clips may be harsh, but he's touching a real tension. A segment of the Fever fan base wants pure basketball, no social commentary, no agendas, just hoops, and they showed up to make that clear. They're showing up for Caitlin Clark's games, and they guard that fiercely. When a role player starts making headlines for off-court stances, that faction reacts, and sometimes harshly. Is it fair to Brianna Turner? Maybe not. She has the same right to speak her mind as anyone else, But fairness doesn't matter in the court of public opinion. What matters is the fan base, and right now. A vocal segment is saying they don't want her back next season specifically because of her off-court positions. That's the new reality of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's fan base is massive, passionate, and relentless. They want basketball. And some of them hold political views that clash with league advocacy. They're not afraid to be loud. Players joining the Fever step straight into that environment. Some will embrace it, some will clash with it, and some will get caught in the crossfire. So here's the question. Is Unrivaled salvageable, or is this the beginning of the end? Can a 3-on-3 league survive when the 5-on-5 game only draws big numbers because of one player? And should role players on superstar-driven teams steer clear of controversial topics, or do they have the same right to speak up? Consequences be damned? Drop your take in the comments, because this divide isn't going away anytime soon.